Are you thinking about moving to Waldorf or La Plata, Maryland and wondering how they compare to each other? Watch this video and I can help you make some decisions about which one is going to be the best for you. What's up everybody, I'm Rob Schou with EXP Realty here in Southern Maryland. If you're looking to move to Southern Maryland, specifically La Plata or Waldorf, make sure you use that contact information below and reach out. I can help you. Use that email, use that phone number, or scroll down to the comments and click on that link to schedule a Zoom meeting with me to discuss your needs when you're moving to the area. And honestly, if you have not yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every single time we put out new content about living in Southern Maryland. We love helping people move to Southern Maryland, and that really helps get our message out to other people that are looking just like you. Alright, so like I said earlier in the video, today we're going to kind of compare La Plata and Waldorf, Maryland, so you can get an idea before you come down here and look at the different areas, maybe which one you would lean towards. Alright, so both La Plata and Waldorf, Maryland are in Charles County, which is a county of Southern Maryland. Both of them are considered bedroom communities, meaning that most people that live in La Plata or Waldorf live there and then work somewhere else. Some of the biggest employees, or some of the biggest employers I can think of are kind of those government complex areas. Andrews Air Force Base is a place where a lot of people commute to, and just kind of that capital region, DC area, and those contractors that support the U.S. government have a lot of people that commute into Charles, into Waldorf, and into La Plata. Now, if you're one of those people that are looking to move into there and maybe you don't want to live in the capital region around Andrews or around that governmental area and you want to move south, this video is really going to help because I'm going to break down all the costs and all that kind of stuff for you to make good decisions about where you want to be. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to talk about the cost of living for each town. I'm going to go ahead and start with La Plata. Now, La Plata is south of Waldorf. So it's a little bit further if you're looking to commute in town. So that's one of those cost of livings that's definitely going to increase in La Plata. So you're going to be paying more to commute to that DC area. Whether it be mileage on your car or gas, it is going to cost you a little bit more for that transportation. And you're also going to be paying more for your house. So on average, last year, the average home price in La Plata, Maryland for 2021, home price sold was $425,000. And that is a lot of money, but compared to that capital region, right around DC and north of Andrews Air Force Base, it is a savings compared to those areas. Now, like I said though, you are commuting a little bit long. Now compare that to Waldorf, which is going to be a little bit closer to those DC regions, but you're more in a kind of dense suburban feel. You got a lot of different shopping and stuff around you compared to La Plata, which is kind of more rural, maybe, lightly populated suburban, I guess I would call it. You're looking at $389,000 for the average home that sold last year, and you're doing a shorter commute. So you are getting, you are going to spend less for a similar size house in Waldorf than La Plata, and you are going to commute a little less. But I will say, and we'll talk about it a little bit more a little bit later on for housing types, you're actually going to have a little less land and a little less space to spread out if you're going to be in Waldorf compared to La Plata. Alright, so the next thing we're going to compare the two with are going to be the schools. Now, I always tell my clients, and I always use niche.com when I'm looking to compare schools. Charles County always ranks within the top 15 in Maryland when we're talking about counties and public schools. And for the most part, La Plata and Waldorf schools are pretty similar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these up here. I'm not going to go through each one, but you can kind of see, in general, La Plata schools are graded a little bit better on niche.com than Waldorf schools, but it really is dependent on the area. So as you start saying, hey, I want to live in La Plata, start looking at those individual schools for that area and kind of using niche.com to really guide where you want to be instead of just saying, hey, La Plata has the best schools, I'm definitely living there. That's not the case. So make sure that you're looking at those areas, and I'd be happy to help you when we sit down and when you come down here and meet, that the house you're looking at, the neighborhood you're looking at has the schools that you want your kids to be a part of, because all areas have pros and cons. All right, so next we're going to compare the different housing types and the market in La Plata and Waldorf. Now, like I said before in the video, it is actually more expensive to live in La Plata because the housing is about $425,000 last year on average, and the housing price in Waldorf was $389,000 on average. But that doesn't really talk about what you're getting for those prices. So in La Plata, you're looking at, on average, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a half an acre lot and an average of 2,000 square feet for that $425,000 price range. Compared to that capital region that you may be looking at if you're living in that government complex area south of DC and around DC and into Andrews Air Force Base. So it's really not that horrible of a price point too. Now, Waldorf, on the other hand, is that similar size, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, but it's less square footage for that average price home at $389, and it's less acreage too. So the average home in Waldorf has a little over a third of an acre last year that sold. So while you're paying less for it, you're actually getting less for the house too. So I guess I could see each side of that one. You know, if you wanted to spread out, I could definitely see La Plata being the best choice for you. But if you wanted a kind of smaller, more manageable lot, then Waldorf may be the best one, and it may be worth paying that little bit less of a price for it. All right, so the next thing we're going to compare them by is activities that are around it. Now, La Plata being more removed, there's going to be less things to do in La Plata. It does have a small town that has parades and different festivals, but there's not a whole bunch to do in that La Plata area. So, you know, if you want to play at a Hawthorne Country Club and play golf or tennis or something like that, that's great. But there's not a whole bunch to do right within La Plata. There are some small restaurants and shops, and you can go in the downtown area, but it's not like a whole bunch of things to do right there. Now, you are close to Waldorf, so if you're in La Plata, you can commute into Waldorf. But if you don't want to commute, if you just want to, you know, be 5 minutes away from those really activities, Waldorf may be the right choice for you because you'd be right in the middle of all the shopping, malls, you know, everything, indoor putt-putt, the Blue Crab Stadium, kind of everything right there at your fingertips, right where you're living. So as far as activities and things to do, I definitely say Waldorf is better, not only because it has stuff right there, it's also closer to DC, it's also closer to Alexandria. So I'd say Waldorf is probably a better thing if those kind of activities are like a big driver when you're looking for somewhere to move. Because there's just not as many things to do in La Plata, and it's even further of a commute to get to those places, to get to Waldorf, to get to DC. So that might be something you want to consider as well. So overall feel of both ones, I would say, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, that La Plata is kind of that quiet suburb, while Waldorf is more like that densely populated suburb, and maybe even considered, I wouldn't say a small city, but you know, a pretty bustling town at least. So there's more traffic in Waldorf, there's more people in Waldorf, there's more shops and more stuff like that. So you kind of feel like it's more densely populated. And La Plata is a little bit more spread out, a little more sparsely populated. Those are kind of those feels of those areas from what I hear from different clients. But I always recommend that you come and look at the area and drive around and get out, look at houses, go to restaurants, and see what one feels best for you, because that community feel can be different for each person. All right, so hopefully this video helped. Hopefully it's going to help you make some decisions on whether you want to live in Waldorf or if you want to live in Plata. And if you have any questions or need any help, use that contact information below. Email me, call me, and don't forget, scroll down. You can see the link down there in that first comment, and that's my link to schedule a Zoom meeting with me so we can go over your buying needs. And again, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, you click that little bell so you're notified every time we put out new content about living in Southern Maryland. See you on the next video.